Welcome to Ms. Cunningham's video guide on how to cite a website. Now you know that our school's databases are the best way for you to find information for whatever research project you're doing, but lo and behold, you will use Google. So the first thing you need to know is that Google itself is not a source. If you look at Google's homepage, you see there is no information here. So there is nothing here, no information for you to cite. You cannot have Google as a citation on your works cited page. Remember that. But let's say you do find something on the internet using Google that you want to cite. Here is a site about the structure of Elizabethan society, and this may have good information for you. So if you find this, how do you cite it? First, go back to Google and search OWL Purdue. And it comes up, your first hit is going to be the site you're looking for, Purdue OWL MLA Formatting and Style Guide. Here is what the site should look like, but some of you will want to use EasyBib, Son of a Citation Machine, or some other EasyBib citing site. The problem with those sites is even if you use those, you're still going to have to learn how to search for the information on the website that you need. For instance, let's go back to EasyBib. So on EasyBib, it's asking you to enter in the website. So I'm going to enter the website that we just looked at and click Cite This. Let's see what comes up. So here it is. Now, as you can see, it's got some information, but you're still missing contributors, publisher, when it was electronically published, and notice that it gives you the URL. You would have to know that it says MLA 7 says to leave out the URL, but if you didn't read that, and guys, you never read that small stuff, you might have that citation pop up with that URL, and that would be counted wrong. You do not need the URL. So again, even using EasyBib, you have to find this information. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you a better way than relying on one of these, which may give you bad information like this URL. So going back to the Purdue Writing Lab, on this sidebar here, you want to go to MLA Works Cited Electronic Sources, and you click on that. The two things you're going to look at are scrolling down, you're going to see citing an entire website. Let's make that a little bigger. Alright, so hopefully I've made this big enough for you to see. What you see here, this is all the stuff you need to cite a website correctly. Now that looks a little scary, but the big thing you need to remember about citing an entire website, you have got to realize that not every website is going to have all of this information. When you cite a website, you put in all the information you can, and if you can't find some of the information, you're going to leave it out. Now, that is not an excuse to just put as little information as possible. You've got to do the work to be able to find as much as possible for each website if you want to cite it correctly and not get charged with plagiarism. So let's take this and use it as an example. One trick I like to do is I like to copy and paste it onto my Word document and then cite my website. So let's try that. So here is what I need on my Word document, and now I'm going to go find each piece of information on my website. Notice the first thing is editor, author, or compiler, if available. This is different than this next part, name of institution or organization. So the problem is with some sites, you're going to have a single, on that page, you're going to have a single author and also an organization. Some you will just have an organization, and some you will just have an author. You need to figure out which one you have, or if both, and make sure you put those. So let's check out our website. First, we're looking for the author, the name of the site, and the version number. Do remember, however, that when this says name of site, if you go to OWL Purdue, back to that page, which we'll do right now. Scrolling a little farther down, you'll get to a page on a website, and notice that there's the name of the website and then there's the name of the page. So if you're citing just a page on a website, you need to put that before you put the actual name of the website. So for this website, we're looking for the author, the name of the page, we're going to stick right in there, and then the name of the site and version number. So let's try that. So back on our site, the author is usually found either right under the name of the page or at the bottom of the page. So let's check the bottom. At the bottom we see copyright 2012 Walter Nelson, and I've checked on this already. Walter Nelson is the author. There is a link right here you can click on and it gives you lots of information about him. Version numbers are usually also found at the bottom, but notice there's not one here, and honestly guys, most of the time there is not a version number, so don't worry about that too much. Back at the top we see that the name of the page is the Structure of Elizabethan Society. The name of the website is Mass Historia. You can also figure out the name of the website by looking in the actual URL box. So for this one it's walternelson.com, but it looks like walternelson.com has several sites within it, so our site is still Mass Historia. In other websites, it might be okay for you to look in the URL to figure out what the name of the website actually is. So now we have our author, which was Walter Nelson. So we start with his last name, then his first, and then notice that there is a period at the end, so we'll stick that there. The name of Cite, well, remember first we have to do the name of the page, even though that's not in here. Name of the page was the Structure of Elizabethan Society with a period, and then the name of the site was Mass Historia, period, and this needs to be italicized. We skip the version number, and the next is the name of the institution or organization affiliated with it, the date of resource creation, so that would be the date that it was created. It might give you a recently updated date, or it might just give you a year at the bottom. Medium of publication and date of access. So we already know we're skipping the version number, and we need to look for an organization and the date it was created. So sometimes websites right underneath the name of the page will have a date that it was published or a most recently updated date. You see that this one does not have that, so let's check at the bottom. So the only date that this one gives us is the 2012 year, and also it does not give us another publishing group. So back on our citation, we do not have the name of a group. We do have the date of resource creation, so we're going to go ahead and put 2012, then a period. Then it asks for medium of publication and date of access. So medium just means what kind of source this is. This one is web. If it was print, we put print. Date of access is the day we looked at it. So that's today, 13th November 2012. Now notice my last date right here went on the second line. You need to do a hanging indent. So that means you need to tab over. But look what happened. It all tabbed over. If you have that problem, enter, go down one, then tab it over. Then you should be able to delete it back, delete this enter, and then you can go back to regular size. So there is our citation for a website. Now note that lots of websites are different. So some may not have an author, they may just have a organization. Some of them may have a real date, some of them may have no date, and it asks you to put ND if there's no date. The best resource you can use is this OWL at Purdue site that gives you the information about citing an entire website. The best part is it gives you reasoning. Like it says, remember to use NP if no publisher, and ND if no publishing date is given. It explains it all to you instead of having you just fill something out and generate something that could be wrong. So use this resource. So remember, that is Purdue Online Writing Lab, OWL, and when in doubt, cite everything you can and then ask your teacher.